Our Events Roundup opens with 2 events from Republic of South Africa, and we will also showcase the 10 remaining events out of 19 that all happen in Nigeria on September 10th of this year. In our Gives Back, we traveled to Thokoza in Gauteng, South Africa. And Guider Emil Juan discusses another thought-provoking topic in his Just an Opinion segment. To all our viewers around the world, this is MNC, your Mavro News channel. There are 2 crucial elements of retrieving information about One is by asking your guider, and the other is checking the website for announcements. But due to recent restart, media and non-members who are critics of have played a huge role in confusing the minds of people about the real nature of This was part of the opening message of Guider Ficasini during his presentation at Soweto in Gauteng last July 17 of this year. His main goal in sponsoring the event is to provide people with the correct information on the working of the platform. Guider Ficasini further elaborated to his audience that is merely a global community of peer-to-peer mutual donation exchange system that has no need for a central account to act as middleman between members. He made clarification as well on other confusing information spread by people that has no correct knowledge of the system. Guider Ficasini also alerted his audience about certain individuals who act as representatives who have misled and deceived innocent people who are interested to join the community by extorting money from them. He reiterated that it has always been free to join even the training that it offers. 4 days later, on July 21st, another guider went out to educate more people about Guider Sibusinu Nituli visited the Adams Mission in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, where 8 people came to listen to him.
My name is Sibusinu Nituli.
He narrated how started in Russia, wherein it threatened the collapse of banks and oligarchs, so they worked hard to close it down and have Sergei Mabrodi prosecuted. From there, he moved on to its rise again as a global mutual donation exchange platform that aims to help ordinary people. He supported this claim by showing them what members get as benefits. He also taught them the use of Bitcoin in sending and receiving donations. In closing, Guider Sibonisu challenged his guests to be more open-minded so they will see how can help them change their lives for the better. From South Africa, we now go back to Nigeria as we give you the last 10 events out of the 19 presentation that happened last September 10. We begin with Guider Obanegbe Olatobi's opportunity presentation at the Glorious Hotels and Suites in Egbe, Lagos State. Out of the many he invited, only 4 people were able to make it, but this did not stop him from going through with the event. For him, even if he ended up with 1 audience only, he would still discuss with them out of respect for the time they exerted to see his presentation. The first half of Guider Obanegbe's 1-hour presentation was dedicated to topics about the workings of platform, while the next half was to answering questions that his guests have about While Guider Obanegbe was engaged in Egbe, another Guider's offline seminar was also underway at a different hotel in Lagos. That same day, Guider Latif Adewale Waliu conducted his presentation at the Isad Hotel and Suites in Alagbado. One of the parts of his presentation where he lingered was the discussion about MMM's history and its founder. He wanted his audience to see how MMM evolved from a company founded with central account back in the 90s to peer-to-peer donation community in 2011 that is guided by an ideology. From there, he delved on how the donation exchange works and the benefits that await members. Though he highlighted the good things that the community offers, Guider Latif was also upfront in telling them that in MMM challenges also happen. He assured them though that as a community it has survived many challenges because people are willing to help one another. Blaring horns and loud conversations of people can be heard from outside. But Guider Oyedeji Oyeledi kept his cool and never raised his voice to compete with the noise during his talk about MMM at the Mobile Event Hall in Akuri, Ondo State last September. He was relaxed as he introduced his audience to a great community called MMM and how it was born out of Sergei Mavrody's mathematician mind. Guider Oyeledi also told his audience that by using their spare money, one can be rewarded with 30% of it as a result of helping someone else through the community. He went ahead to share about the key features in the day-to-day operation of the platform, including provide help, get help, and Mavro, as well as the benefits involved in the community.
In 2011, he said to himself, I want to help the poor. The wealth of the world should not just circulate around the rich, it should circulate around everybody. I want everybody to have access to money. And he started a platform like this.
That was how Guider James Emakara described the motivation of MMM founder Sergei Mavrody when he re-established MMM back in 2011. Guider James said those words in an event that happened also on September 10th at the Overcomers building in Akuri, Ondo State.
It's not yahoo yahoo, it is good money.
He had about 100 people listening to him, but because they also came for a different function, he was just given 20 minutes to complete his discussion about MMM. Despite the time constraint, Guider James was up to the challenge because he was able to complete his presentation just within the allotted time without skipping on important topics. One of the things he was able to highlight was the fact that MMM's goal to help people become financially able has already happened in Nigeria since it started in the country last year. It said that today, many ordinary people have already breached the 1 million naira mark in terms of bonuses earned from doing MMM. Since time was not enough, he encouraged those interested to join to contact him or his team members for their questions. Our next event was the third that happened in the state of Ondo last September 10 under the leadership of Guider Maha Okachukwu. He held it at the Royal Bay Event Center in Ukitupupa, where about 15 people attended.
If for example, you want to eat rice.
He was thorough as he described MMM and how it operates as a community of mutual financial aid and donation exchange. More than 15 minutes of his discussion focused on the rules on safe participation alone, as he wanted to impress on his guests that they must follow the guidelines if they do not want their account blocked. He also told them about post mode and restarts and called them as MMM's mechanism of stability and security. After showing them how to navigate the MMM personal office, he provided them his registration link and contact number. Before he closed the event, questions were entertained. From Ondo State, we now move to Oyo State, where in September 10, Guider Are Owolabi met with about 50 people at the University of Ibadan Event Center.
They've done, and then they don't get the equivalent of the work they've done.
He first talked about some facts regarding the community before he touched on its history, ideology, and how Sergei Mavrody founded it. Although there is money involved in the donation exchange, he assured his attendees that this exchange happened on a peer-to-peer environment and that MM does not own any account that handled these funds. He further disclosed that one of MM's goals is to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. Aside from these topics, Guider Are also showed them how the provide help and get help cycle works, and the benefits that each member will get depending on the efforts they will exert to promote the community. Guider Shidusi Delivis approach during the live presentation he hosted at the Glenfield Hotels and Resorts in Port Harcourt, River State, also on the September 10th, was a little different from others.
So after a month later, this 1,000 Mako Nigeria Naira will become 130.
He taught his attendees of about a dozen people on how to register first before formally introducing them to MMM concepts. He further expounded on MMM's ideology while discussing the bonuses. He encouraged them to take part in the Guider School so they can get extra rewards. Guider Shidoshi also told them to never forget that there are risks involved should they decide to join the MMM community, and added that they only participate using amounts they can afford to lose anytime. When Guider Okachukwu Uga started talking about how Nigerians behave towards opportunities and how the politicians have worsened it by making empty promises during elections, you'd think that you were in a political rally. But it was just his way of relating how most Nigerians have become adamant of life-changing opportunities presented to them like MMM. He said these words in front of about a dozen people during an offline seminar he organized at the Mano Hotel in Port Harcourt, River State, also on September 10. From that introduction, he was back to business as he told them next how MMM was founded and the ideology that it spouses. He next talked about how the donation exchange works, the bonuses one can get, and the risks involved in participating. He pointed out several times that every money they would use in MMM is a donation, so they should only use amounts that they are willing to give to someone who is in need. Another guider who organized an event on September 10 was Guider Onyinyi Mabahuriki. He did it at the Calgafe Bar and Restaurant in Port Harcourt, River State. His presentation flow was a bit different from the usual because instead of flooding his guests with figures and percentage on certain topics, he just made his headings simple and his explanation less confusing.
Now, the founder of MMM.
He started off with MMM's founder, history and ideology. From there, he moved on to the main principle of MMM, its legality and what makes it unique compared to other donation exchange platforms. He also showed them how each section of the MMM personal office works before talking about how MMM works in a nutshell. His approach was a bit different, but for Guider Onyinyi, it is what fits his personality the most. That chanting formally started our last story for this week, which was also the 19th event that happened on September 10 in Nigeria. Guider Felix Bukoyi was the one in charge as he gathered about 2,000 people at the Rawson's Event Center in Port Harcourt, River State for his MMM Opportunity Seminar. After a short welcome message and chant, he got down to business and methodically moved from one MMM topic to another. His presentation lasted for a little more than an hour, but no one ever felt bored because he made sure that everything he said were clearly understood by his audience. He also gave them insightful tips on how to properly do MMM that he all got from his own experiences since he started participating in the MMM community of Nigeria. Before closing the event, Guider Felix asked people with questions to raise their hands. More than 10 people signified they have inquiries, and instead of feeling tired, Guider Felix still energetically answered all of them to the delight of his guests. MMM Republic of South Africa is slowly moving forward from the setback it experienced with a recent restart. But this situation did not deter Guider Tumelo Tubalanu and his team from holding a charity presentation last October 14, 2016. For the people of Thokoza in Gauteng, South Africa, they were able to draw a big crowd that almost reached 100. Several members of the team stood up to talk about different topics related to MMM and how it works. But due to time constraints in using the hall, they only gave a short discussion for each topic, enough to arouse the curiosity of those who were hearing about the community for the first time. But due to time constraints in using the hall, They only gave a short discussion for each topic, enough to arouse the curiosity of those who were hearing about the community for the first time. For those interested, they provided group huddles outside under temporary tents and also gave out leaflets. They also encouraged them to see any of the team members at the office they have in Thokoza, which is open every day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sundays. When the huddles were all done, they then proceeded to the charity part of the event, where they distributed prepared meals not only to the guests, but also to other people near the venue. The people of Thokoza who attended were glad that MMM visited their place because they were able to know more about it and at the same time witness the community of people healing other people, doing charity works for the less privileged. On behalf of his team, Guider Tumelo thanked the people who came, the MMM South Africa community, and the founder Sergey Mavrodi. With a big crowd they were able to generate, he expressed his desire to repeat the same success on other parts of South Africa, wherein the plans to introduce MMM to those who are still not members and also show them how the power of giving is practiced by the community through charity events.
Good morning everyone, my name is Emil and welcome to another segment of Just My Opinion. On our segment last week, we talked about the possibilities of developing MMM team outside your country. Today we will have another brand new topic which is still related to MMM development. What I would like to share right now is about the importance of being informed in our community, whether you are just a new participant or a long-time guider. Now, I know this sounds like very basic, but I think it is safe to say that 90% of participants, and maybe including guiders, are still lacking for information and still needs to increase their knowledge about MMM. I don't mean to offend anyone here, but my purpose is to tell that we have, or to tell you that we have a lot of things to learn regarding our community. I have to admit that I myself still needs to learn more things about the system we have in MMM. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when we say MMM community, the scope is really wide. You have to learn the story of the past MMM, the background of the founder Sergey Mavrodi, the workarounds inside your PO, the basics of PH and GH, the mechanics of the system, Bitcoin payments, the ideology, the disclaimer, and a whole lot more. I'm not saying that you study all of these things at once. That sounds really crazy, right? What I want you to realize is that as we continue our journey in MMM, there's a bunch of information that we need to digest little by little so that we can fully equip ourselves with enough knowledge if we really want to change this world. Learning an MMM must not stop after your guider school. Sooner or later, you will discover that what you learned in guider school was just the basic foundation of your knowledge about MMM. So, what exactly do you need to do in order to be always informed or to always inform yourself? The answer is really simple. Make it a habit to read and explore the website and its contents. Be sure to understand every section of it. And when logged into your PO, always make sure to check every button and links so that when you're inviting someone to MMM, you're confident enough that you are telling the right information. And if that's not enough, try talking to someone you know who joined MMM ahead of you. Well, for others, I knew that they will just take this advice for granted, but for me, I know this is the best thing to do if your goal is to help others and not only to earn money. And if the MMM mentors are watching this video, I suggest that you set the standards a little bit higher for the aspiring guiders, and I think everyone will agree to that. For the benefit of the whole community, we need to ensure that those who wanted to become guiders have the capability to become great leaders as well. After all, MMM is not looking for perfect leaders. It only needs people who truly support its ideology through ups and downs. That's it for this week. I will see you again next week for a more exciting topic. Always remember that everything that I said in this video is just my opinion. Have a great day and bye-bye.
That completes our edition of MNC this week. The holidays are just around the corner. Are you ready with your gift list already? My name is Mark. Always remember, together we change the world.